Say, right? So first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. We say that once Apostle and Elohim great most and rule our teachers, our apostles in truth, and we see salutations for the Akim, so they push you with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season and season with Shalom. And once again, good entire video here, and it's basically touching upon, constantly enduring, because that is how it's supposed to be. You're constantly enduring. Let me look at the word endure before I continue, right? And bring the scripture here. Endure. So when you look at the word endure, it means to endure means to partially experience, bear, or withstand something difficult, painful, or unpleasant without giving up. Without what? Without giving up. And that's how it's supposed to be. We the time that we in and we heading into, right? It obviously we know things getting worse, right? And we know the enemy going to try to come. Obviously the enemy going to come down on us, right? But with all these things happening unto us, we have to constantly endure. And as I say here, without giving up, because you're not going to give up on the Lord, you're not going to switch, right? So let me read the scripture. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thine heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Because I believe in the book of Proverbs mentioned, let me get, matter of fact, let me get, let me get it here quick. It's Proverbs. Right, Proverbs chapter 24. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 10. Right? It says, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. Yeah, so you don't want to be like that. Yeah, you don't want to faint in the day of adversity. You want to constantly continuing enduring, never stopping, never falling, and so on. That way it says, set thine heart aright and constantly endure. So you're constantly what? As I say, the word for endure, it means to endure means to patiently experience, and we know you have to have patience. It's a bear or withstand something difficult, painful, or unpleasant without giving up. It can also mean to last, persist, or continue to exist over a long period of time, right? So constantly enduring, because we know we face this hardship, right? And we know these people not going to love us and so forth. They will hate us, right? The scriptures mention that. Your own family, they will switch against you, right? By the end of the day, no matter what it is coming way, you have to constantly endure, never giving up, right? Never ever giving up. I remember, which is one of the words. I remember doing a video, and I believe it's losing patience, right? And I believe you go and look up the meaning of the word losing patience in Google. The AI overview would give you a meaning that you're losing the love for something. So imagine you're not enduring, losing that patience, right? It literally losing the love that you have for the Lord. And that's how deep it go, right? So that's why I say to patiently experience. The hardship you're going through is a test here, right? The trials, the things that they face is a test to see if you be found worthy. You gotta watch it on that level as well. So that way it say to what? And constantly endure, right? Constantly never giving up. That way it say without giving up. It say to suffer or bear patiently, right? It say to suffer or bear patiently withstand. It say this applies to putting up with a hardship, emotional pain, physical discomfort, the torture that we may face, right? It say or an unavoidable difficult situation. Yeah, right? And these things, obviously, some stuff you went through and some stuff you would have to face. And no matter what it is, you want to constantly be enduring. You don't want to be like what the Proverbs 24 say, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small, right? You see now with certain men, certain things, they in the word, they can't do certain things, the family telling them about the preaching and so forth, and they leave. This guy endure that little hardship, and that is something small, right? You want to constantly be enduring straight downward until the end, right? You see, if you live for the Lord, and if you die, you die unto the Lord, right? So you don't want to cease. You don't want to stop doing what. Hey, you don't want to stop doing what is recommended to do, or doing the things that you have to do. Matter of fact, right? It say cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. And that is it. You know, you don't want to depart. So you have to do what? You have to constantly endure. That way it's to withstand. Right? Because when you look up the word withstand, see if I get it here. Right here. Right? It say withstand. It say to withstand means to remain strong and unaffected by something damaging or difficult. Whoo! Yeah. So that way it is, constantly enduring, to withstand, right? Wherever, is that way it say to remain strong, right? That's remember what scripture it's it's in 1 Corinthians, right? Yeah. See if I get it here. Yeah. Let's say 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13, it say, watch ye, stand fast in the faith. Sorry. Watch ye, stand fast in the faith. Quit you like men, be strong. Right? So that is what it is. Stand fast in the faith. You know, withstanding, you do at the end of the day, that is how it's supposed to be. Right? It say, watch ye, stand fast in the faith. Quit you like men and be what? Be strong, because that's how it will be. Because at the end of the day, we're facing hardships now, and obviously the time that we're heading into, when things get worse, we ourselves we're going to go through more. So that we say, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. You don't ever want to depart. You always want to stand fast, you want to stand firm, and you always want to constantly endure. Right? Constantly enduring. So that way say, when you look at the word withstand, it means to remain strong and unaffected. And what? Unaffected, you're not going to change. Because when you look at that word unaffected, right? Let's see if I get it here. Unaffected. It means unaffected typically means not change. So you're not going to change. You understand you're serving Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, right? And you're not going to change. You're not going to change. You're not going to see. So if anything comes, you know what it is you're doing. You're standing for the Lord. You remain unaffected. So it typically means not change, influenced, or modified by something. Yeah, and so modified, you're not going to be modified, meaning that just to draw a reference, you're not going to, the torments or the things that they may face, right? It's not going to modify it to change. You're not going to modify it to be affected and then change to something else. You know? So it's whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So yeah. So that way it is. You always say acceptable men what? In the furnace of adversity. That is how you be tried. So whatever it is, you're going and face it, trials, the tribulations, you know, these things that come in, what as it say here, you withstand, you depart not, right? And as it say, being an acceptable man in the first adversity. You want to be that acceptable man. You want to be accepted. You want to be that person, right? You want to be that person. So constantly enduring, never giving up, straight down to the end, right? No matter what it is, right? That one more scripture I want to bring here. Let's see if I get it here. This is the book of Matthew chapter 10 verse 22. It says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. For what? For the Lord's name. Right? A very important thing as well. Because who it is he going to call in that time? Right? The rest of them that calling upon Jesus and all these other gods, they're going and switch. They're going to be the ones to not endure. They're not going to be the ones to withstand because they don't have no solid thing to fall back on. Right? Whereas we have the Lord. Right? It says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endureth to the end shall be saved. So what? Constantly enduring unto the end. That way it say, but he that endureth. And remember, we look up the word endure. Right? So unaffected means you're not changing, you're not influenced. So enduring, you're not going to be what? You're not going to be changed. You're not going to switch at the last. Straight down to the end, you're serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? See if I get back here. Right, so endure again. Endure means to patiently experience, bear, or withstand something difficult, painful, or unpleasant without giving up. So you're not giving up. So when the scriptures say endure to the end, you didn't give up. Right? You didn't give up at all. And that way it's say, but he that endureth to the end shall be what? Shall be saved. Right? You didn't give up. So with that, once again, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. We say that once apostle and elders are great most and rule, our teachers are apostles in the truth, and we say salutation, so they are must push within our truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season or season, we say, Shalom.